So I was having a conversation with a friend, and the subject went to we are only living in this brief moment right now. There's no me from a minute ago. There might be an idea that's a memory of me a minute ago, but there's no me. And there's no me a minute ahead of here or a second. We only live in this brief moment. This is our life. The Buddha compared it to a wagon wheel. It only touches the ground at one point. And that's what our life is. And if we decide to be angry or sad or fearful or resentful or you're turning over you're giving up your life for however long you're sad or fearful or angry or whatever you are. You're like giving up that time, that precious time of your life to unprofitable mind state, and all you've got is this one little tiny mind state that you've got one after another, and you don't know how long you have. The tornadoes in Tennessee came out of nowhere and just wiped out a whole bunch of people's houses and cars and killed people, and the electricity and everything's just gonzo, And it always reminds me of it doesn't always remind me, but it reminds me of a news story, I don't know, a couple of months ago. This woman is driving in her SUV with her daughter, and an airplane crashed into the windshield. God, you just don't know. So anyways, every moment is precious. You could have a heart attack a second from now and be done. And then, do you want that preceded by angry or, something better, compassionate or happy? Or, oh, I get some of these, they're kind of new agey, I suppose. Stuff. I don't know where all this stuff comes from, but this one, I thought, yeah, okay. And then I kept reading it, and I thought, this is pretty good. And it's today's affirmation. Bliss is my birthright. Gratitude is my attitude. I am forever grateful for the blessings of love, abundance, and spiritual connection in my life. I thought, that's pretty good. It's from, what's her name? Some Aurora Star is her name. And I think I get one every day, but I don't know. This one kind of got me, I went, that sounds pretty good. Like, I'm sort of, when it says bliss is my birthright, I think of it as it's okay to be happy, bliss. Why not? Why couldn't that be what I'm about? And so I went to Peggy and I said, "Oh, Peggy, I can't thank you enough for providing me with a home," is what she's done. And she said, I was just talking to a friend of mine recently, and I was telling him how glad I am you're here. And I thought, oh, that's great. It's mutual. She said, otherwise I'd be alone and I wouldn't have any, nobody to help me and all that. So anyways, so that was gratitude. And it worked out. It made me blissful when I heard, that it was mutual, that she was glad I'm here. So anyway, and we are connected to, if you're a good person and a serious yogi, there's a lot of forces, good forces in the universe that want you to, succeed and be happy and stuff like that. The devas, they're drawn to developed people, virtuous people, good Buddhists. They're watching. They're paying attention to what goes on in planet Earth, but mainly just as far as developed Buddhists. They go, oh, that's good what they're doing, or she's doing, or something like that. Oh, we like her, and then that's good.
We got a close up of Jim's eye.
Boy, I know what your eyebrow looks like now, Jim.
I'm sorry.
No.
No.
So, point being, go ahead.
I had a similar experience. I don't know, but within days, with my roommate, like you were describing with Peggy.
Oh,
It's the reverse in a way. I mean, I'm the Peggy.
Yeah.
In that, but yeah, it's very wonderful.
Yeah, it's nice to know that it's mutual.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that it's mutually so good.
Yeah, beneficial.
Yes, and growing.
Huh.
It gets, it's not like nothing static.
Yeah.
And it keeps, adding to itself.
Yeah.
New
good things too.
Surprises. Yes.
Yeah. And I guess Dima's thing about rejoicing could fit in here pretty well too. I think I've talked about it before. In Theravada Buddhism, you reflect on your merit, gifts you've given, teachers you've known, retreats you've done, and it's kind of like, okay, yeah. And in Tibetan Buddhism, you rejoice. You don't just reflect. You like rejoice in those things. Oh my God. I am so glad I did that. And I'm so fortunate to have had the opportunity to meet that teacher or do that retreat or give that dana or whatever, good deeds that you've done. And the Buddha said to reflect on your good deeds. It's not, it's a good thing to do. It's not like some, selfish, weird thing or something. It's just smart for one thing, but it builds also, like Jim was talking about. You rejoice in those things and you get happier about it, and you feel like doing more, and you inspire people around you, and it's just good. And to kind of go back to this one moment that we live in, it's not even a moment. I mean, moment is a word that describes an entity, like a hand or a person or a car or something. But none of those things, including us and our life, are entities. We're just an evolution. We're just a transition. There's no now, there's now. And it's a different one all the time now. The now is different. Some analysts and scholars have said that one mind moment is equal to a 250,000th of a second. So, if that's anywhere near, even in the ballpark of how quick the mind arises and passes away, wow. I mean, so even when you're making, I've said this before, I've said everything before, but when you're making a note, like rising, the mind has arisen and passed away 500,000 times or something like that. And the rising has arisen and passed away, in its evolution. It's not, it's this part of the rising, that 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 part of the rising. It's not arising as a fixed thing. It's just a process. And so are we. So mindfulness helps you make the best out of every one of those moments. Every wholesome state of mind has to have mindfulness as one of its contents. Gotta have mindfulness. And that's what we're doing, so woohoo. We're trying. That's all you can do, is try, and you don't beat yourself up if you're doing less than you think you should be doing, or not doing it enough or something, because then that's not a wholesome state of mind when you beat yourself up. So you rejoice that, well, at least I was able to sit quietly for 15 minutes in the yard today, away from the guests or the electricians or the painters or, the whatever conference on my computer or whatever. I mean, you have to live life also. You have to work a job or pay the rent, fix the car, wash, cook, eat, do the laundry, all those things. mean, you have to maintain your health and cleanliness and all that. I mean, it's just good to do that. So it's not, but if you're mindful during it, then you got it whipped. Then you're everything you're doing is enhancing your good karma and wisdom and peace and tranquility too.